Carlos, we had such a fantastic conversation last night, and I know that we won't be able to cover all of it in 15 minutes, but let's get the listeners oriented and tell us about your organization, World Innovation Alliance, that you founded. Why did you found it, and what does it have to do with AI?
Well, thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you for the conversation that we had yesterday. It was wonderful. The WIA is my response to some of the challenges that we see that are affecting the world. There's definitely a lot of great organizations trying to find solutions, but we see that many times the problems that we face are multidisciplinary or international, and we normally work in silos. And one of the things that we saw is that there's a huge need for coordinating efforts of different types of stakeholders, and also to leverage technology to maximize positive impact by also galvanizing the efforts of society. There's millions of people in the world that want to be a part of the solution. There's great experts in all fields, and we need to be able to coordinate and align the interests so we can all work together, leverage technology for good, and also minimize the risks that it may have.
Wonderful. So today is World Creativity and Innovation Day. Why should we care about creativity and innovation, and how will AI add or detract from human creativity?
Well, innovation has been the fundamental driver for human prosperity, and it has allowed us, for example, to increase our life expectancy and to face many of the challenges and limitations that humans have had. The first tools were created 2.6 million years ago, and we've gone a great journey. But one of the keys that we're seeing right now, because of the advent of AI, is that technology is accelerating, and the power that gives humans is greater and greater, and that allows us to achieve incredible goals. For example, it allows us to face healthcare issues or climate issues much more effectively, but at the same time, the size of our problems and the size of the negative effects that we may have because of these tools is greater and greater. So I think it is very important for us to keep innovating, and innovation is not only about technology, it's about looking at new ways to see the world and see what are the problems that we're facing, what are things that work, and what are things that we may be able to improve. It's about constant improvement, leveraging the resources that we have.
So let's talk about like the current state of AI. So can you give me like a snapshot, like where, because there's a lot of talk about ChatGPT and large language models, but give me a quick overview of the state of AI right now, and what trends do you see that are happening? And maybe if you could look in your crystal ball, any predictions about where do you think we're going to be a year or two from now?
Wonderful. So the first thing that I believe is crucial for everybody is to understand that AI is way more advanced than what we see in a media headline. There's so much more capability than what we're aware of, and therefore we need to be extremely careful with this underestimation of the risks it may have or the potential it can have. It is accelerating at a speed that it is reaching the point of singularity where artificial intelligence is going to be so much more intelligent than humans that the comparison of intelligence is going to be like an ant to a human is going to be humans to that super intelligence. The AGI concept is autonomous general intelligence or artificial general intelligence is going to get closer and closer. And some estimates were 20 to 30 years down the line. And now people are estimating it's a couple of years away. So what's happening is that these systems are not able only to give you, for example, documents, proposals, analyze lots of information, what you can do with ChatGPT or generate images or even generate videos, as it has been released very recently. But also there's the possibility of action. And that is a huge game changer. AutoGPT and other tools are creating agents that allow for the artificial intelligence to go and perform tasks on your behalf. And that is a game changer because it can create a task or based on a goal. And that may be, for example, fix this code. So the tool is going to self-analyze and improve constantly until that code is as perfect as possible, right? But the thing with this is that the goal could be, as Chaos GPT, destroy humanity, or it can be find a solution to one of the biggest problems in the world or things regarding climate change. And it can also start doing tasks and connecting with other tools, connecting to the internet, and actually go and execute. And that's why the pieces for that super intelligent AGI are already there, and it's a matter of time. So the state right now is incredibly fast. We have 4,000 AI papers per month. We have 140,000 patents per year only in 2021. This thing is accelerating. Investment is ramping up. And the issue is that in the past, we had from paper to B2B applications to maybe B2C, there was many years to get through that process. But right now, we go from paper to 100 million users in no time because AI is being embedded into every single tool, including the Microsoft Suite, the Google Workspace. So pretty much 1 billion people are going to access very advanced AI technologies very, very soon. I mean, there's already a part of that has already happened, but it's going to continue expanding. And the predictions are somewhat scary. And I think it is important for all of us to understand that whatever we focus on, the positive or the negative, we're going to just be looking at a part of it. It's never going to be only positive, as the ones that are advocating for it and are defending that are, because it's their own interest, of course, or the other people that are just trying to either regulate it or looking at the risks, and they think there's nothing good coming out of this. I believe we're going to go to a world that we're going to see an incredible amount of massive transformations, both positive and negative, and it's going to affect pretty much every role, every department, every company, every industry, and every country. And there's going to be increasing inequality probably coming out of this. There's a lot of risks, and I think that we need to be aware of it.
So I've heard both that it's going to be amazing. So one of my nephews taught me a phrase: "Is the juice worth the squeeze?" So it's this incredible power, and if you've been alive long enough, every new technology is going to revolutionize education, and every technology is going to bring us all together, and it's going to find a cure for cancer. And I'm still waiting, right? But we see the negative just sort of gets out of control because it's unregulated, or there's some kid in a bedroom who's decided, I'm going to make something, and they're so young, they're not thinking about the ramifications. What are the negative externalities that could happen? So it's one thing for more mature people to think, oh, okay, we need to have these safeguards and so on. But it seems, I was reading this morning that anyone could create a large language model on their laptop. And so when it's distributed that way, it's almost like, how do the genie's not going to go back in the bottle, but we're going to be living in a very dynamic world where it seems like it's almost like inviting chaos in terms of it's going to be very, very unpredictable, very, very unequal. And so is the benefit of AI worth the huge social cost?
Well, that's a very important question, and thank you so much for pointing it out. I do believe that the positive effects are going to be extraordinary. For example, the life expectancy is going to go way up, and people are talking about getting to escape velocity in longevity, which means that every year that goes by increases the life expectancy more than 1 year. So you are potentially going to get to a point in which if you don't have an accident, you may be able to live forever, or that's what many scientists are claiming. There's positive effects in our ability to find solutions. The scientific output per year is expected to multiply times 1,000. And if you look at 3 million patents per year that we have globally, just think of 100 times that, and how many breakthroughs can you go through that can improve the people's lives. That's not one thing. Now, is it going to be an uncertain time full of chaos? I do believe that. I think that AI is the biggest multiplier we've ever had in human history. It is definitely going to be used for good, but there's going to be bad actors using it to harm others and to create benefit for themselves. I think it is going to be extremely difficult to, as you say, put the genie back in the bottle. I do think that we have opened already Pandora's box. There's a call for a halt of 6 months of the development of large language models, at least the biggest ones. And I know that the intent was to at least give coverage to the CEOs of the largest technology companies to be able to make the decision of stopping without being the only ones that are going against the interests of the shareholders. Because if they're the only ones doing it in this race where everybody has to be faster than the other, then it would be very, very harmful. So they cannot even make that decision. So they have created this conversation. So there's social pressure. So there's the possibility, at least for some tech leaders, to step out. But the problem is, as you say, now people can create their own large language models. There's models that have already been downloaded and distributed on open source, and it is impossible to stop the development of technology. Also because there's a lot of great positive effects that this thing has for every user. And there's a number of things that have been already discovered, both for science, but also in many other areas. So I do see that it's going to be very difficult to create solutions that are perfect. They're talking about a kill switch. I don't think it is even possible, because you could actually stop, like Italy has tried, or they're developing this ban to ChatGPT. The thing is, you ban ChatGPT, do you also ban the API? Because the problem is that OpenAI's API is already being used by, I don't know, if millions of different platforms. Are you going to ban all of them? And even if you do that, then there's other models as well. So the technology is already out there. It's going to be impossible to stop. There's things we may be able to do, and we have some recommendations for that, but no single magic bullet at all. That's the thing that we've been able to see both in the cybersecurity space and in the AI regulation or AI risk mitigation space. I have not seen a single leader or a single person proposing anything that seems to be able to really tackle the problem.
So when you scan the landscape and you look at the people who are talking about AI, which voices are missing, and who do you think, or which individuals do you think are taking effective leadership within AI?
Well, I do see that there's people talking about AI in different silos, and some people are proposing great ideas. And the problem is that we are so disconnected from one another that nothing actually ever happens. And that's in part the reason why we created the World Innovation Alliance, and why we're doing several efforts now to bring people together, because even if we have the solution, or someone proposes something that is extremely valuable and seems to be effective enough to at least try and do a pilot program on, the people that are going to need to use that solution are not even aware of it. And also the sheer number of the advancements in AI makes it almost impossible for regulators to catch up and to even try to deal with it. So there's a number of things that I believe are important. The first one is to basically do regulation and solution finding and risk assessment based on the future backwards, and reverse engineer what we think is probably going to happen, and then we may be able to be fast enough. If we are trying to regulate now what is available now, that we're going to be late, as we have been for the internet, and we are 10 years late, and we have not even been able to catch up yet. If we go to the future, we go to all the negative effects that people are talking about, and we try to put ourselves in different scenarios. We say, how would we regulate so that doesn't happen, or so we can mitigate that? Then we're in a much, much better position. So that's one thing. Not only do we need to think about the future that is probably coming and how to improve it or prevent some of the problems, but also how do we bring together the people that are looking for solutions and the people that can actually implement or influence those solutions. And in order to do that, one of the things that we're calling for is a special session of the General Assembly of the United Nations, a special session of the World Economic Forum, special sessions of European Union institutions, and they have to absolutely meet the technology leaders, the AI company leaders, researchers, academics, ethicists, media, and thought leaders. It is absolutely fundamental that we look at the problem comprehensively. We look at the different sectors. We look at what are the biggest problems that we can see: unemployment, misinformation, risk to democracy, cyber war, bio war, and many other things that could be connected to AI. And then what are the solutions that seem to be the most useful, valuable, feasible, and effective, and then do at least sandboxes and pilot projects that can lead to faster regulation, faster solutions being implemented.
So 1 minute, what is your call to action to people who are listening? And I know that in the previous interviews, we've been asking what young people should know. But as a middle-aged person, I would like to know what middle-aged people need to know about AI as well.
Well, I am getting older by the minute, so maybe I am already in the older version. But what I would say is, for every single person, especially for leaders, but also for regular employees, regular citizens, we all need to lean into this. We need to understand it. We cannot underestimate its potential. Remember that people were underestimating the power and potential of the internet. Same thing with social networks. It's not for kids. This is a really big deal that's going to transform our lives for good and bad, and we're going to have to live with it. So the first thing is learn as much as you can, become informed, look at all the sources, connect with people, and then try to use it to achieve valuable, difficult goals that can improve not only your life and your economic situation, but also can improve the community, and collaborate with others, especially with the stakeholders that are normally farther away from you, so you can actually create solutions that can have a bigger effect.
Thank you so much, Carlos, for such an informative conversation. And so back to you, Afur.